Greetings, I am Tom Earl. On this week's episode, we talk vulnerability, manhood, and authenticity with Orlando Deral. Check it out. Greetings, I am Tom Earl, and this is my year of grace. We know you could be anywhere, so the fact that you are here today, sharing your greatest gifts, your time and energy, means the world to me. I hope you know that in this moment, you are valued, you are appreciated, and you are loved, just as you are. As you can see, I am not alone. I have an amazing guest. He goes by the name of Orlando Deral. How's it going today, Orlando?
It's going amazing.
I appreciate you being here.
I appreciate you having me.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I messed up the first time we did this, so that's why we're laughing, because literally just said all of this before. So, do you mind if I introduce you to the folks out there via your bio?
My pleasure.
Let's do this. Mm-hmm. Boom. Orlando, that's Orlando, Deral is a certified fitness trainer and also holds cycling certifications from Schwinn, spinning, MadDogg, and Stages. Throughout Los Angeles, Orlando has emerged as one of the most sought-after cycling coaches, personal trainers, and wellness experts. He has built a loyal following based on his ability to connect with students and help them achieve and exceed their potential both physically and mentally. He coaches at elite studios as well as Equinox clubs throughout Los Angeles. And just want to add my personal testimonial to that I take Orlando's spin class every Saturday almost without fail. And it's at 9:30 a.m. So you can book, 26 hours ahead of time. Okay. So that means I have to book by 7:30. So I set an alarm, 7:30 Friday. I got to book it. But if I'm in a meeting or I'm doing something and I miss that 7:30, within 15, 20 minutes, the class is completely booked up. Not only that, you then get put on a wait list, and normally for most classes, people, the wait list opens up. People don't show up, people don't, they cancel. But for Orlando's class, once people are booked, they are not giving up their spin bike. So if you've ever seen me do a gratitude of the day for spin class, it's because of Orlando. So I'm glad we made this happen. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, I'm grateful. Yeah.
I've noticed that gratitude, a lot of things you share gratitude in class. Gratitude seems to be something that energizes you. When did you start to find that gratitude attitude philosophy?
Well, I've always been grateful, but going through some real challenging times and coming out of those challenging times, made me realize how grateful I was. I mean, seeing people who had it worse than I had it. And no matter how bad I had it, I saw other people who had it worse than me. And it just taught me how to be super grateful. And also reading about gratitude and studying and I mean, we have so much to be grateful for.
Yeah.
And versus complaining, we're a human. We're a society that complains about the little things. But then if we transform that complaint into, you know what, I'm grateful. Your whole attitude, your energy, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, everything will change. And you may have to repeat it. You may have to, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful. And eventually your words will catch up with your body.
That's awesome. Reminds me, I heard someone say, your words, give spells. So if you're always complaining, you're going to put yourself under that spell.
Yeah, words are powerful. If I emailed you, if anybody received an email from me, then you'll see at the end of my email, one of my email signatures is, it says, you have what you say. I'm a huge believer of words. Words are powerful. That's why I'm careful with the words that I use, because once you put a word out there, it attaches itself to whatever it is. So how you speak, you have that. Oh, I'm so sick. I'm just horribly sick. Okay, yeah, we do get sick. But it's times where I was on the verge of being sick or something happening, and then I reversed it, and that thing didn't come. It didn't happen. And it's really true. If you're a believer of words, it's a part. And if you're not a believer of words, if you're not a believer of you have what you say, you should try it and start to speak positive. Because if you notice, you speak negative or you speak things like, oh man, this is so horrible, then things are gonna be horrible. It's just how it works. But once you start to speak positive, then you'll see things from a different perspective. And I'm not even trying to be deep. It's just reality. That's really how it is.
Just observation,
experience. Yeah.
So take us back. Did you always know you wanted to be into fitness, personal trainer? Were you doing spin classes as a youngster? Were you always doing that kind of stuff?
Well, I was always lifting weights and always wanted to just, like get those peps on,
There we go. Those who listen on the podcast, you got to watch this part.
Well, I love to have fun. I love to make people laugh. I've always trained. I've started training when I was in high school, maybe, but it was just for me. It was for me. My first love, my passion is theater.
Oh, that's awesome.
Entertainment, and that's my first passion. And I got into fitness it was a period of my life where I lost everything. I made a bad investment and I lost everything. I was living in my car, staying with some friends who would let me stay at their place. But most of the time when I lost everything, I went through a long period of sleeping in a car.
Was this out here in Los Angeles?
This was out here in Los Angeles. And I had a very nice car too. So driving around in a nice car, but sleeping in it at the same time. Yeah. Just unfortunate circumstances. And I would go to the gym. I would go shower. And then I would leave. I couldn't function. And that's how much I saw the gym. I would just go and shower and leave. So eventually I connected with some people and they took me to a spin class, and I went to and I saw the coach motivating people, and I was horrible. I couldn't ride that bike. It was my very first time on there. I was struggling, man. And her words were powerful. She was up there and I was like, you know what? Wow. I love people and I love to reach people. That's one of my goals, is to share and help build people up, encourage people, because we can go so much further than we actually even believe or think. We can go so much further, and I want the world should know that. Yeah. And if I can't reach the world, I want to reach as many people as I can. So her words were so powerful, and it just inspired and motivated me. And I said, I'm going to start cycling. And I want to do this because I can reach many people just by them seeing where I've come from to where I'm going, and where I've been to where I'm going.
So you did the first spin class. What happened after that first spin class?
Okay. I did that first spin class and I was in pain. That's what happened after that first. Yeah, that's what happened after that first spin class. I was in pain and I just kept doing it. I'm a believer of, if I'm not good at something, I'm gonna keep doing it until I master it.
That's awesome.
So I kept doing it, and I studied and I took tests and I learned and I took all the classes I could take. And I got certified. My very first time I taught, I wasn't even certified. A spin instructor didn't show up, and the people in class said, "Hey, Orlando, were you always in here? You spinning all the time?" They had no idea I was already in the on my way to being a spin instructor. Yeah. And they said, "Come teach a class." I had no idea. I never taught a class, so I just put some music on. I went up there. I mean, everybody, they enjoyed it, but I mean, that was the very first class I taught. Like
on the spot.
It was fun. It was a great experience. And after that, that's when I got a job at one of the clubs, and then I kept going and got hired somewhere else, and I just kept going, and that was my intro to becoming a spin instructor.
How did you then learn how to do like teaching people to weight train and personal coach, group coach for things outside of spin class?
Well, I started helping people. I started talking to people because people can relate to you by your own experiences.
Yeah.
So what you've been through, people can relate to if you've come out of it. And I always like to say, if you come out of something, like if you come out of the fire and you haven't been burned and you don't smell like smoke or you don't have that residue.
Yeah.
People you couldn't imagine, when people say they're homeless, yeah, sometimes they're living on the street, sometimes they're living in a car, but it's more of a mental thing. It's more of a mental thing because you wonder, okay, how am I going to get out of this? You may have that drive with saying, I'm getting out of this. But if your mental health takes a toll or a turn, if it takes a turn, and you can get stuck, you can fall into depression, and that's when you get stuck. I fell into depression, so I first started as a spin instructor, and then I started group fitness. Then I started one-on-one. Then I started coaching people, life coaching. And once you go through challenges in your life, most people can relate to what you've been through. Yeah. Like if you've been on drugs before and you've overcome that, the people that been on drugs before, they can relate to that. Yeah. If you've been homeless and went through depression or suffered mental illness or mental health, and you went through that and you've overcome that, people can relate to that. So I started attracting people who needed to come out of certain slumps. And my whole thing is I love to help people. I love to help people push people past their potential, so it's all under the same umbrella. Yeah. Spin instructor, group fitness, one-on-one, training. Because I as you come to my class, it's not just a physical experience, it's also mental. Yeah. And some people get it, some people won't. Some people have those barriers where it's just blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks of either baggage or walls. That's hard to tear down. Yeah. But over time, some people start to open up and let go, and some people get it.
If you don't mind, you had kind of started to talk about, the lowest part you were at when you're experiencing homelessness, where you were in depression, and you talked about how some people, that can just like beat you down, and it's hard to get out of that. What for you, if you don't mind sharing, allowed you to continue to rise? How did you train your mind to, see the light at the end of the tunnel? How did you make that happen for yourself?
Well, I was at my lowest. Most people don't know. From living in my car, I had a business. I had a photography studio. I used to live in there. I gave up my apartment, had to live in my studio. Then I gave up my studio, and I worked for another guy who had a photography studio in the mall. Wow. He probably didn't know this, but he'll know it now. I lived in that studio. I lived in the mall. When the mall would close at night, when I would finish with my day about 10 or 11 o'clock at night, I would go in, security would open up, and I would say, hey, I have to do some work in here. And I would go in there, I would fall asleep, and if they heard me snoring, they knew what I was doing, But that really took a toll on me because I didn't have the freedom of being out in the world as being stable, and I didn't have the freedom in my mind. So I basically, on the inside, went to a mountain and just screamed at the top of my lungs. And I reached out to a friend of mine and I said, look, hey, I don't want any money. I just need a place to stay for like 2 or 3 months. That's it. Just to get my head clear, to start strategizing. And this friend of mine said, look, meet me here. This person put me up in a hotel for a few months. And then I started working for him. And I was able to travel. And I was around different energy, success and positive energy. And it also brought me back to myself, because I've always been a go-getter. Yeah. I've never let anything hold me down. I've never let anything hold me down or hold me back. And this was a period of time in my life where I was going through a lot of self-discovery, like discovering that I had daddy issues that had to be fixed, and relationships that went sour. Realizing I had all this blockage in my heart. And then once all that stuff started to be removed, I started realizing that, oh, my heart, I do feel that. Okay. Oh, I messed that relationship up. Oh my goodness. What did I do? Oh, I do have daddy issues. And uncovering all this stuff made me vulnerable. It made me feel. So that took a toll on me. So when I would experience depression, it really affected me. I mean, could you imagine someone being rejected or going through life? You could be told, no, you can go through this and hardship, but you still keep going like a bulldog. That was me. Before my heart started to open up. When my heart started to open and I started to feel stuff, see, that's another reason. I know we're going in a different direction, but that's a reason why a lot of people don't want to feel, because it can be painful. A lot of people, I know a lot of people who've experienced relationships, I never want to be in a relationship again, because they don't want to feel that pain or that realness. And it doesn't have to always be like that.
You know, I think especially as men, we're socialized to not talk about this kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And not go through this journey, to stay hard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Do you mind talking a little bit about, for you as a man, especially opening up? Where did you find that courage? And now you're even talking about it and sharing it with the world with another man. You know what I mean? Can you talk a little bit about the journey or any reflections you have on that?
Oh, absolutely. Because I would love for all men to get this, because we have a hard time. We grow up as boys, and for the most part, as we grow up as a boy, we're not taught how to be men. And so we respond to adult situation like boys. And we have on that, I didn't do it, I didn't say it. And then we have on this, we put this coat over our hearts. See, we are taught to hold in our emotions and say, oh, it's fine, I'm good. Everything is okay, I'm tough, I'm a man. Oh, you don't cry. That's how we're taught. So one of my breakthroughs was when I was dating someone a long time ago, and they gave me this information. I guess they saw this in me. It was a piece called Victory Over Rejection. And I didn't realize I had rejection issues. So I listened to this thing, and I'm working. This was when I was working in my studio. I was building it up, and I listened to it. Then the next day, I listened to it again, but I put my earbuds in. And it broke me down. What I heard was, I have rejection issues, not in the world when I'm out being told no, but right here in the heart. When I'm rejected in the heart. When we're rejected, we act out. We act out in certain ways. Some people go shopping. Some people overeat. Some people hurt people. Some people hurt themselves. So we have our ways of acting out. And I realized that I had those daddy issues. I wasn't able to heal until I dealt with that. And this is going in a different direction. But what happened was, and this is pretty crazy. After I listened to that, I said, you know what? I'm gonna call my dad. I'm gonna call him and ask him, you know, why weren't you there for me? Not like, why weren't you there for me? But I just really want to know this. And my dad he's never called me in my life. Never called me. Maybe once. Yeah. But I didn't even know if he had my number. And a couple of days later, I get a call. I'm working in my studio. I get a call from where I'm from, Michigan. I'm from Michigan. I got a call, saw a number, and I'm working. And then I listened to the voicemail after a while. And it was my dad. And he said, and I have the voicemail on my phone. I'll give it to you. And he said, hey, son, hey, this your dad, man. You know, I ain't spoke to you in a long time, man. You know, I think it's time for us to start getting together and start communicating. I love you, son. Wow. That messed me up so bad. I just broke down. I just broke down. And it messed me up for like 6 months. I wasn't able to really function. Every time I heard it, I would break down. And eventually I was able to call him back. It took a couple of weeks and I called him back. Yeah. And I was still disappointed because he was talking to me like, hey, homeboy. But that's what it was because that's all we had. Yeah. So over time, it took about a year. And I called him. I said, you know, I'm going to ask him because I never asked him. Yeah. And I called him. Now, mind you, before he called me, I said, I'm going to call him. Yeah. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't call anyone. He just called me because...
Well, he called you without you calling him?
Without me calling him.
I did not know that.
Right. Wow. So that's what I didn't... He called me. When I listened to that Victory Over Rejection, it was almost like the universe, God, said, you know what? You're ready. You're ready. And I got the call out the blue. Wow. I got the call out the blue. That's why it messed me up.
Wow. I thought he was calling you back.
Nope.
Wow.
After I listened to that Victory Over Rejection, I said, I'm going to call him. And a couple of days later, actually, it was probably the next day, I got a voicemail. And I listened to it and it was him. That right there, it was the beginning of my healing process. So it took a year. I called him back and I was on my way to a job. I had an hour drive and I was like, hey, Dad, hey, what's up? He was like, hey, son, hey, what's up, man? And I said, you know, I'm going to ask him this time. He started talking. He said, hey, man, your mom, she did such a good job with you. She did so good with you. I wasn't around. I was just young and dumb. That's it. He told me. I didn't even have to ask him. When he said, I wasn't around, I was just young and dumb, it felt like chains just broke off of me. And I was able to move. And I had much respect for him after that moment. I don't care what happened in the past or what didn't happen. Yeah. From that point on, you know, because prior to that, I was like, what do I call you? What do Pops, Randy, Dad? What do I... Right from that point on, that was my dad.
That's awesome.
That was my dad. And we don't know who we are. I mean, we have to do a lot of research and digging. But once we really find out who our parents are or learn more about our parents, where we come from, who they are, how they operate, we can see a lot more into ourselves and we can find our own identity, even though we're individuals. Yeah. Even though we're our own individuals. So that right there it was a healing, a huge healing. And it caused me to open up my heart and receive more, because in past relationships, I would allow somebody to come so close, but you can't get all the way in.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not afraid to take a chance. I'm not afraid to open up my heart. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable as a man.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to talk to another man and say, man, I love you.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I don't have to be macho and put up a hard exterior. If I don't have to do that. A lot of men towards their women, no, girl, this and that. They feel like they have to. No, treat her like a lady with compassion. Be sensitive. Be understanding. That's a man.
It's powerful.
It's so real. It's so real.
I appreciate you. You said you wanted to be, I asked your intention, authentic. I don't know if you knew how authentic we were going to get. I appreciate it so much.
You got it. I don't know what direction we're going in. I'm probably all over the place, but
you're not.
It's a part of my life.
You're centered.
It's part of my life.
I was thinking when you said authentic, right? So the I'm going to mess up the exact etymology, but basically, the root word's author. So you take it back to Greek, it basically means from the heart. That's what authentic means.
Yeah.
And as you've mentioned a bunch, like your heart. So you can't be authentic if you got all these layers, between your heart and the world.
Yes. That's so true. That's the most powerful things we have, that we own, that's ours. Our mind and our heart, which is connected. Our heart, because that's the thing that's affected the most. We can hear things and our brain we receive things, but that heart, that's why they have something called crimes of passion, or different things, because that heart, those layers that's over the heart, we all have them. I remember in elementary, those layers started coming in.
Yeah.
I was a little kid, started dating this one girl. I was so in love. I bought her a teddy bear. I rode my bicycle across town to give her this teddy bear, to go back to school the next day for her to say, I quit you.
Wow.
You talking about crushed?
Yeah.
Oh, I was crushed. But that's where it begins. Yeah. It begins even before that. So just think, as we grow up, all the hurt and the pain and the disagreements, all those layers, because we're not taught how to, we're taught, forgive. We're told to forgive, but we're not really taught how to, or let go.
Yeah.
So it's all there. And until we deal with that, we can't really move on. And that's why I've been able to operate and move forward and basically go full speed ahead, is because I do a lot of self-development.
Yeah.
I'm always working on me.
Yeah. Not
for perfection, but just to get better.
There you go.
To get better for myself, for the people that's in my life, for the people I encounter, whoever I coach. I'm no good to anyone unless I'm good. So I have to make sure I'm good.
I resonate with that, where you're saying, we have to be taught, or we got to learn how to forgive. I remember I took a Iyanla Van Zandt class on forgiveness.
Whoa.
Where it's it had a curriculum, and that changed my whole life.
Wow.
Because what you're saying, we learn a lot of what love means, our definition of love from our relationship with the adults from our youth.
Yes.
And that was something I had to redefine. What does love actually mean to me?
What does it mean to you? So
one book I came across was Bell Hooks, All About Love. So she talks about how love is a verb. That was a big thing for me. It's that she talks about how we like to make love seem like it's this vague thing, but it's really an action.
Yes.
And so for me, I came up with 6 core ingredients of a loving relationship. Authenticity, affirmation, accountability, that we value each other, that we're our full selves, and that there's forgiveness. And so I always could tell, like, if those 6 things weren't in this, it's a good relationship, but it's not my definition of a loving relationship. And that helped to be able to, so it wasn't vague, like, is this love? Is it? You know, it's like, no, it's good. We're cool, but this is not a loving relationship, and that's fine. Bless and release.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's powerful.
For people who are listening right now and are really feeling inspired or moved, or maybe they're having one of their victory over, what was it called?
Victory over rejection.
Maybe they're having one of those moments right now. And they're trying to think, is it really worth going through the effort of, you know, like letting myself be vulnerable? Is it really worth that? What would your response to them be?
First, I would answer the question by saying, absolutely, it's worth it. It's worth it. As I'm listening, I listen to a lot of motivational or inspirational people. And one of the core things that I hear is you have to go through the hard work. Fitness, for one. In order to transform your body, you have to put in work.
Yeah.
Same thing with your mind, your heart, your past. We have to put in work. So is it worth it? Absolutely. Especially if you're dealing with rejection. When people, just think about it. We all deal with rejection.
Yeah.
Whether it's with a job, a relationship, a friend, a person, a pet, whatever it is, we deal with rejection. Every time we're rejected, depending on that individual, you're affected in some type of way. Some people can brush it off their shoulders, but then you have a lot of people who take it to heart, and it builds. That rejection builds. So being rejected over time, and I'll take it all the way back because I can't say, I'll take it all the way back. Most humans grew up in single family homes. You have a lot of people who grew up in single family homes. You have some who grew up in homes where the parents were both present. But even though they were present, there may have still been rejection involved. Hey, daddy, can you play? No, son, I'm busy. Or no, daughter, mommy, can you? I gotta go fold the clothes. I gotta go I'm busy. I can't. Rejection exists growing up in so many people's lives in so many different ways. And it's something that is not really talked about a whole lot. I don't hear it as much as we should, because that's something that most humans need to heal from. Is rejection. Rejection causes people to act out a certain way. People don't know how to respond to it. They respond to it in a way of taking it. People take it personal. People take rejection personal, and it could cause some people to act out. So yes, it's absolutely worth growing through. I said growing through all of that, what you've experienced in the past, to heal yourself. How do I do that? That's the main question of, okay, so I've been rejected, and is it worth going through all the things I have to do to come back to who I am? Yes, that's the only way, one of the only ways where you will find your authentic self is, that's under the umbrella of self-development. So yeah, absolutely.
What would you say is the reward of going on that journey?
Well, the reward for me is by going on that journey of discovering that I first had rejection issues and going through the process of healing from it. It caused me to be a real man, a real person, a real human. We have so many people, we say, oh yeah, I'm a man. Yeah, I'm a Yeah, or people say, yeah, I'm real. I'm real. Okay, what is that? What is that to you? Have you went through the process of healing yourself? Have you went to therapy? Do you read books? Do you take the time for yourself? Do you meditate? So my reward is that my heart has opened, and I don't have those layers that I've had through the years that keep people out. It's a passage that says, guard your heart. Mm-hmm. You know, I still guard my heart, but I'm not afraid to let you in. I don't have to I'm not afraid to let you come in. In the past, you would get to a certain place, and then I would put on the brakes. You can't go past this right here. So that means you can't really see who I am. So my reward is it opened me up to be my authentic self. To actually be able to really say no to people and mean it. To be able to say yes to people and mean it. To be 100% authentic with how I really feel and react and respond with how I feel, and not, maybe, or okay, and not to be passive aggressive. Because I used to be passive aggressive. I used to want to please everybody. Yeah. That's because I didn't know who I was. So I discovered who I am, and I'm still discovering who I am every single day. Huge reward. Huge reward.
If I was Oprah, I'd be, tweetable moment. I love that, because a lot of us, myself included, we deal with that, wanting to please people. And I loved how you said a lot of it's because you don't know who you are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that.
I strongly feel that as men, we don't have to approach life and situations with the fear of being vulnerable. We don't have to approach it like that. For example, I grew up. Well, I grew up, and we didn't talk about therapy or going to counseling. It was, you go to church, you go pray, you good, you do this. Some things are considered weak. You're considered weak if you, I'm stressed out, no. If you acknowledge something, the strength comes in that. If you do go to counseling, it's strength in that. So once we shed off all those, I gotta be tough, and this is what makes me a man. Nah, that's not what makes you a man. Learning how to be vulnerable. That doesn't mean you walk around crying every day. It just means you're taking away the fear, and you're practicing being more in touch with how you really feel, and not being afraid to say, you know what, this is how I really feel. Not, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm all right, I'm gonna go do this, or I'm gonna go do that. No, this is how I really feel. That's powerful.
Yeah, it is.
When you can really talk about how you feel, and conversation, it's powerful.
And it's empowering.
And
I'd say even trying to reverse psychology, the people who are in that I need to be tough state. Yeah. You're more the way that people perceive vulnerable. Let's say you're vulnerable in a war if you do this. If you don't know what your internal triggers are, and you haven't dealt with them, a circumstance is going to eventually push those things.
Right.
And if you don't have the tools, if you haven't gone through it, it's going to take you out. You know what I mean? So even for the people who are I'm going to be tough because life's a war. It's then even if that's the thing, then just learn what those things are, because it'll make you actually the real word of strong.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're built upon, you were saying, that knowledge of self, rather than, it's almost like a house of cards, which is like a big wall in front of it.
Right. Right.
I appreciate where we've gone on this one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say at the beginning, I never know what's gonna come up.
Hey, that heart, man, that heart, mind, and just learning who you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things, you'll go through things that can force you to learn who you are. Or you can go a different direction.
Yeah.
And it'll take you down.
So y'all need to envision this, but we're on a spin bike and there's great music. And that's an Orlando class.
Hey. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to speak to on this subject? So I want to ask you some behind the scenes spin class questions.
Okay. Whatever's there is there.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever else you got.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about I got some spin class questions for you.
Okay.
How do you pick your track? How do you know what song to play? I'm always interested. I'm a musician, so I'm always curious about, the music has such a strong relationship with the experience of the class.
Yes.
So how do you pick your songs?
Well, I like to stay current, but I also love to go old school. A lot of people, depending on the environment, can or may not be able to relate to some of the music. And I want my goal is to try to get everybody to relate. So I like to. It's an experience. It's a journey. If you come to my cycle class, it sounds like a commercial right now, but if you come to my class, it's a journey. We have to start right here. So that first song has to get you at a nice easy pace and a nice easy mood, so you can get your body and your mind right to go through this experience. And then it builds from there. It's like almost like a roller coaster. You start, you're going, then that anticipation, and then and then we go on that journey, So it's from the technical side of it, I choose, music that has where we sprint, we climb, we jog, we're in the saddle, we're out the saddle. But the words, I try to choose music where that speaks to everyone.
Yeah.
That speaks to everyone, that has a message. And then I try to choose music that's fun.
Yep.
Where we can have some fun. And I want people to have fun when they work out. I want people to have fun because cycling is a very intense activity.
Yeah.
But it's for all levels.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are intimidated by it. I was intimidated by it before I actually got involved. And now I love it.
Yeah, me too. It's
my
favorite.
Yeah.
I wish I could just spin and it'd work out.
Yeah.
I'd be good, but I gotta keep it holistic.
And there's so many things coming up in the future with spin, indoor cycling.
Okay. I like that little teaser. Stay tuned for 2020. The other thing I'm always fascinated by is I take your pure strength class a lot.
Yes.
And there's just so many ways how to work out the body in very isolated ways. Do this one thing with your arm or your leg. And I'm like, oh, God, I didn't even know I had this muscle.
Right.
Are you just always studying? How do you know? It's such a creativity that I just appreciate. Where does that come from?
Well, it comes from a lot of study. One,
okay,
because as a coach, we have to know the body. And so it comes from studying. It comes from my personal workouts. It comes from other coaches and other trainers, and sometimes I collab with other trainers. Like I have a trainer that works in the class with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes we collab and we put workouts together.
Okay.
But for the most part, when I'm building a program, which is the workout, the whole pure strength workout, or with group fitness, it's a structure from top to bottom.
Okay.
This particular class that you're talking about is a strength building class. So we're working on muscles. It's not high intensity. We're working on the upper body, the lower body, the midsection. And so we have to hit all those points. In this particular class, it gives us enough room to hit the whole body. And we always change it. We always change it up so people can have different experiences and get stronger. And it's a lot of testimonies in that class.
Yeah.
Some people couldn't do a pull-up, and now they're doing pull-ups. See? Yeah,
That's me.
Right. And now you're doing pull-ups, you know?
Yeah.
But it's fun to see it's the thing, and see what you're talking about is, I know one particular exercise and it looks so easy. And when you do that, like when I demonstrate it, people are like, but then when you do it, it's like, and it's just these little bitty tricks. See, that's why you never judge.
Yeah.
So many people judge. And even with weights, you think like, oh, I'm going to get strong. I'm going to lift this big 400-pound weight. No, you can lift a 5-pound weight, and I can show you a way to where you can work out with this 5-pound weight. Within 30 seconds, you'll be breathless. It's just a matter of studying, knowing the body, learning different exercises, paying attention to people, and because everybody's different. And this class is for everybody. But sometimes you have to modify different, either weights, heavier, lighter, or just a whole totally different exercise. But yeah, I love that class.
What I love about group fitness classes is, like, if you look on the floor, it's very stereotypical. Like men, like really like stereotypically in shape, nobody's talking to each other. Group fitness classes is like diverse in terms of gender, body size, and there's none of that like machismo-ness. Like, it's partner, we're high-fiving, everybody's in it together. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. That's the only way I'll have it, because like the camaraderie, like the community.
Yeah.
People, you have a lot of people who will come to group fitness classes, and some will they'll just work out and be like, no. Everybody's talking to everybody. That's why I tell people, all right, give a high five and this and that. We move on, and you know, it's a team effort. And once you feel one thing in group fitness classes, people need to feel safe.
Yeah.
And trust, and have trust, not just trust with me, but the people around them.
Yeah.
And so when you have that communication and you have those workouts, you bring a little fun into it.
There you go.
A little laughter.
Some woohoos.
Yeah, some woohoos. And if you know me, if you've been in my class, you know I'm gonna be a goofball. Yeah. I'm just gonna be a goofball. But we're gonna sweat.
Yeah.
We're gonna sweat, but we're gonna have fun while we do it.
I think that goofballness models safety. It's like, if he's like that and he's the coolest person in the room, then I can be like that.
Hey.
So it's good.
Yeah. I want people to be themselves. You don't have to be all, because there was a point in my life where I would be so, no, I don't have to be tense and act cool, and just be yourself.
Yeah. There's one line you say at the end that I've brought up to you. You always say, you can do a lot in 20 seconds. Tell me a little bit about what that means to you.
Well, I always joke when the timer is going down and we're probably at the 20-second mark, I say, all right, we can do 75 reps in 20 seconds. It sounds so ridiculous. It sounds impossible. 75 reps in 20 seconds? That's like, right?
Yeah.
I just want people to realize Well, first of all, it's all jokes. It's fun, and I want people to keep going.
Yeah.
But I want people to realize nothing is impossible. 75 reps in 20 seconds. Yeah, right. No, just hold on to that. You know what? All right, I'm gonna go for it. I mean, it's just so many crazy quirks and reasons and why I come off like that.
Well, I love it because it's usually in those last 20 seconds is when you start to give up. You're like, I might as well stop. It's basically done. So I like that philosophy of like, no, this is when you can get the most done, actually.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. That's why I focus on pushing, especially at the end. Whether it's in the spin class, treadmill class, strength class. Come on, 20 seconds. You have it in you. Because we do. We have so much more. We're stronger than we think. Someone had what was it? They had a smaller weight, and I gave them a bigger weight. And they were like, I can't do this. I've never done this. And they did it, and they mastered it just even in that first try. Because that person was stronger than they even imagined in their mind. And sometimes we just have to be encouraged or told or pushed, just that little push.
I have an exact one in my mind where that happened. I remember I would hover around like the 12.5s in the 15s, and you gave me like a 20. And I was like, no. And then after it came over, I was like, I can't believe I could do it. You're like, you're strong, Tom.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've just kept going up. But I needed that. Where I kept thinking, no, I got to stay around these 12s and 15s. And you pushed me to that next level. So I appreciate that.
And then what did you say? I love to do that. And then what did you say? Once you did that 20, you said what?
I can keep going.
See what I'm saying? But prior to that,
yeah.
What did you say with those 12 and 15s? I need to stay around here. This is what I can do.
Yep.
Self-talk. You have what you say. And then when you transformed those words gave you that 20, you said, I can do this.
Yep.
In here and in here, I got this. I can do this. And then that's why I push people just a little bit. I don't push people to where they feel defeated.
Yeah.
But just right on the edge of like, see, 12s to 15, going to 20 is a big step.
Yeah.
Or can be a big step. From 12s to 20, that can be a big step. We could do so much more. Not just with the physical part, not with just the physical part.
Y'all got on the podcast.
Not with just the physical.
Yeah.
But here.
Yep.
Here, this is the most powerful thing. This mind, our self-talk. Our self-talk is so important. Oh, I can't do this. Or I don't know if am I going to get this job? Or is this person going to like me? No. That's why I have a saying. When I tell people, I say, they ask me how I'm doing. I'm amazing. Sometimes I may not feel amazing, but I'll say I'm amazing, and then I'll start to feel amazing. And some people, how you so positive? I don't want to hear all that positivity all the time. That's not real. It's not real for you. Yeah, I have my moments, and there's times where I say, you know what, I'm good. Where I may not be able to say I'm amazing, but then I try to catch it, and I say, you know what? No, Orlando, you are amazing, no matter what. That's self-talk, and then it goes from being okay to amazing. It's perspective.
I love that. So you might have heard me say at the very beginning that this is my year of grace.
Yes.
In fact, this is going to be one of the last year of grace interviews.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're closing it out.
Okay.
So for you, what does grace look like in your life?
Man, that's powerful because grace in my life is when I say grace or hear grace or think of grace, and I live a life where I'm connected to God. Some people may not. Some people are connected to the universe, God, or whatever religion or whatever they practice.
Yeah.
And I'm not religious. And a lot of people are afraid of religion.
Yeah.
But I do have a connection. And when you hear God's grace, you think of, wow. Well, when I hear that, I think of, wow, I'm able to live another day.
Mm.
I'm forgiven.
Mm.
And I want to show people forgiveness. I want to give forgiveness. I want to show people grace. And grace to me is just, it's like a passage. It's like if I was standing right here at this gate and someone wanted to get through, it's like, here, let me let you through.
Mm.
That's one of the best ways where I can explain it. Because grace is if we all were to exercise grace, the world will be a better place. I believe that.
Agreed.
Grace is powerful.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So where can folks reach out to you to let you know how much they appreciated all that you shared today, to get connected to your world, all that kind of stuff? Where can they do that?
Optimum Performance Coach.
Okay.
Instagram, Optimum Performance Coach. I have a website, Optimum Performance Coach. Everything is Optimum Performance Coach.
Okay.
All one word.
Okay. Perfect. So show notes today, tomearl.com/Orlando, tomearl.com/ORLANDO. tomearl.com/Orlando is where you'll find all of that information. Orlando, I just want to thank you so much. This was like one of the most powerful interviews I've done 2019. One of the most powerful. They all have their, each episode I've done, each person I've interviewed has been unique and special and beautiful. But this is one of the ones where it felt like there was something like, hey, now's, because we've been, I've been working out with you for a couple years now. It was like, now's the time. And clearly, like God had a plan for our conversation, because we didn't touch upon this at all. I was
Not at all.
It just went there.
Yeah.
And a lot of that had to do with, the courage that you have and the work that you've done, and then your, openness to share it with the world. So I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you inviting me to come and share with the world.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
Yeah.
So here's our closing ritual, is for you to share an invitation with the audience, an invitation for them to become, something you'd like to invite them to think about, something you'd like to invite them to consider, to evolve into. What's your invitation? And we'll have you tell it right to them.
Well, my invitation is for you to work on removing any fear you have in your life. For me, I had fear of certain things that held me back. So what I did was I decided to jump out of an airplane. I said I would never do that ever in my life. And I did it. And that was to overcome some fears and some things that blocked me. And once I jumped out that plane and I landed on the ground, I said, there's nothing I can't do. If I can jump out of an airplane, I'm doing anything. I can do anything. So any fear you have in your life, remove it, because you'll be able to go so much further. That business you want to open up, that person you want to talk to, that trip you want to go on. I mean, whatever it is for you, it's a lot of times, and almost every human, fear is holding them back. Talking to your boss, asking a certain question that you're afraid to ask. So that's my invitation, is for you to do whatever you need to do to remove that fear. And I'm sure if you need help, how do I remove the fear? It's books, it's podcasts, it's YouTube. You can go to a lot of places to find how to remove fear. And then I can even help you. I'm sure Tom can even help you as well. Because in order for you to do this, you had to remove some fear of, you know what? I don't care. I'm doing my podcast. I'm doing that. You know, so many things hold people back.
Yeah.
Like me moving forward in my life for some of the things I want to do. I had to remove fear. And I still have little things where I'm moving out the way. But once we remove that fear, you can just go.
There it is. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you once again, Orlando.
Thank you,
Tom. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And to all of those listening, as always, we're wishing you peace and blessings. Thank you. One more thing. I'd love to continue the conversation. Feel free to join me at tomearl.com/join. Subscribe below, or let's connect on social media. Tom Earl Artist. Thanks again for watching.